They hit him 4 times. He didn't move. What changed in exactly 47 seconds, and why did the crowd go silent? Stay to see the 3 synced proofs that killed a fake narrative: CCTV, Bodycam, and signal logs. Ready? Count with me? Okay, let's get into this. It's a bright June morning in London, right there at the Horse Guards parade for the Trooping the Colour ceremony. You know the one, that massive annual event where the military puts on a show with all the parades and marching bands, and that classic British royal vibe. The place is jammed with people from all over. Tourists snapping away with their cameras, locals mixed in with families who brought their kids along, all waving those little Union Jack flags. The energy is high, but it's not just excitement. There's this real mix of folks there, some coming from tough backgrounds, others just out for a good time. You've got people from different countries, different walks of life, all crammed together along the barriers. Phones are out everywhere, recording every moment, and there are CCTV cameras posted up all around the area, watching everything like silent guardians. It's one of those events that feels timeless, but under the surface, it's got all the pressures of modern life bubbling up. Now, let's talk about Aegis. This isn't some ordinary horse. He's a standout from the Household Cavalry, one of those black beauties trained to perfection. He's got this sharp intelligence about him, all from years of drills and routines. It's nothing magical or out of this world, just solid conditioning. You can see it in the little things, the way his ears twitch at certain sounds, how his hooves shift just a bit when something's off, or even the rhythm of his breathing. Those are all tells, responses baked in from countless hours of practice. He's the kind of horse that doesn't flinch under pressure, but he picks up on details that most people miss. And riding him is Eli Mercer, this young guard who's all about keeping it together. Eli's disciplined to the core, the type who follows every rule in the book. But life's been hitting him hard lately. Rent in London is insane. We're talking prices that eat up most of his paycheck before he even sees it. On top of that, his mom's going through some serious medical treatments, the kind that rack up bills faster than you can imagine. It's got him questioning a lot of things, like whether all this ceremonial duty even makes a difference in a world where the media spins stories left and right, twisting facts to fit whatever narrative sells. Still, he's out there, suited up and ready, doing what he signed up for. The parade route kicks off from Buckingham Palace, winding down the Mall with all its wide open space and tree-lined paths, before hitting the Horse Guards parade ground. Drums are pounding out that steady beat, keeping everyone in step. There's a light wind whistling through, carrying the sounds of brass instruments and the occasional cheer from the crowd. Camera shutters are clicking non-stop, phones held high, capturing every moment for social media. But here's where it starts to get interesting. Aegis begins reacting in this subtle way to some distorted frequency sound. It's not obvious at first, just a slight ear flick or a change in his step. We'll break down exactly why that happens in part 6, hang tight for that. For now, it's like this quiet hint that not everything's as picture perfect as it seems. The crowd's too wrapped up in the spectacle to notice, eyes glued to the uniforms and the precision marches. But Eli feels it, that tiny prickle of something being off. It's like the shift from just enjoying the show to sensing that trouble might be lurking, turning admiration into this nagging unease. To make this real, picture the diversity in that crowd. You've got families from South Asia, chatting in a mix of English and their home languages, pointing out the horses to their kids. There's a group of American tourists, loud and excited, wearing baseball caps and snapping selfies with the guards in the background. Then there are the locals, some older folks who've seen these parades for decades, standing shoulder to shoulder with immigrants who've made London their home. It's a melting pot, but not without its tensions. You hear whispers here and there, someone complaining about the cost of living, another griping about how events like this feel out of touch with real problems. Eli catches snippets of it as he rides by, his mind already heavy with his own worries. His mom's treatments aren't cheap, and he's been pulling extra shifts just to cover the basics. It's the kind of pressure that makes you question if the pomp and tradition are worth it when bills are piling up and the news is full of stories about inequality and fake outrage. As the parade moves along the mall, the sun's beating down, making the uniforms feel even heavier. Aegis is steady, but that distorted sound keeps pulling at him. His left ear tilts just a fraction, like he's tuning into something the rest of us can't hear. Eli notices, adjusts his grip on the reins, keeping everything under control. The crowd's energy builds, kids laughing, parents hoisting them up for a better view. But there's this undercurrent, right? Like, in a city as diverse as London, events like this can highlight divisions. Maybe a tourist makes a snide comment about all this royal nonsense loud enough for others to hear, sparking a quick argument. It doesn't escalate, but it adds to that foreboding feel, like the day's perfect surface is cracking just a bit. Let's zoom in on Eli for a second. He's in his early 20s, fresh out of training, but already feeling the weight of the world. Growing up in a working-class neighborhood, he joined the cavalry thinking it'd be a stable path, pun intended. But London's changed. Rents have skyrocketed, pushing people like him to the edges. His mom's got this ongoing condition, requiring specialists and meds that the NHS covers partially, but the extras, they're on him. He's been skipping meals to save cash, lying awake at night scrolling through news feeds full of scandals and manipulated stories. It makes him doubt the very ceremonies he's part of. Are they just for show, or do they mean something? Riding Aegis helps, though. The horse is a partner, responsive and reliable. During drills, they've built this bond where Eli can read Aegis's signals like a book. A shift in breathing means alertness, a hoof tap could signal discomfort. It's all practical, no fluff. Back to the scene. The procession nears Horse Guards Parade, the gravel crunching under hooves and boots. The bands are in full swing, trumpets blaring over the drum rolls. Wind picks up a discarded flag, sending it fluttering across the path, a small distraction that has Eli scanning the area. CCTV cameras pivot slightly, capturing the movement. The crowd presses in, phones flashing. One kid, maybe 8 years old, reaches out excitedly toward Aegis, but his parent pulls him back gently. No harm, but it reminds Eli of the rules: keep distance, maintain order. That's when the distorted sound hits again, stronger this time. Aegis's ears perk up, his breathing quickens just a notch. Eli marks it mentally, wondering if it's from a nearby radio, or something in the air. It's not panic, it's awareness. The open loop here is key. Why this reaction? Part 6 will unpack it, but for now, it's building that sense of something brewing. To amp up the drama, imagine a minor incident in the crowd. A couple of guys, looking a bit rough around the edges, start pushing for a better spot. One shoves an older woman accidentally, and she snaps back, "Watch it, mate." It draws attention, with bystanders murmuring. Eli spots it from horseback, his training kicking in to assess threats. He doesn't intervene directly, that's not his role, but it heightens his alertness. The woman straightens up, brushes it off, but the moment lingers, adding to the unease. It's like the parade's grandeur contrasts with these real-life frictions, where people from different backgrounds clash over space, respect, or just bad manners. Eli thinks about his own struggles, how he's been belittled by landlords hiking rents without a care, or media outlets dismissing working folks' hardships. As they enter the parade ground, the formation tightens. Aegis steps precisely, his hooves echoing on the hard surface. The crowd's cheers swell, but Eli's mind is split, duty in the moment, worries about home. His mom's latest bill came in yesterday, another hit to the savings. He pushes it down, focuses on the route. Buckingham Palace fades in the distance, the mall's trees providing brief shade. More CCTV angles cover the area, ensuring everything's recorded. That distorted frequency buzzes faintly again, making Aegis snort softly. Eli pats his neck reassuringly, whispering a quick command to steady him. The crowd doesn't notice, too caught up in the display. But for Eli, it's a reminder that even in this structured world, unpredictability lurks. Let's build on that foreboding. Suppose there's a vendor nearby, selling souvenirs, and he gets into a heated exchange with a customer over change. Voices rise, "You're ripping me off," drawing stares. It's quickly diffused by security, but it plants seeds of tension. Eli rides past, his uniform pristine, but inside, he's relating. He's faced similar dismissals, like when a doctor brushed off his concerns about his mom's care costs, treating him like he didn't matter. It's that subtle discrimination, not always overt, but wearing you down. Aegis picks up on Eli's tension, his breathing sinking in response. The horse's intelligence shines here, not some mystic thing, just trained empathy. The ceremony progresses, flags waving, bands marching. The wind carries scents of street food from nearby stalls, mixing with horse sweat and polished leather. Phones keep recording, some live streaming to friends back home. Eli scans the faces, a black family smiling proudly, a group of Asian tourists whispering excitedly, elderly white locals nodding approvingly. It's inclusive on the surface, but Eli knows the underbelly, stories of racism in the city, belittling comments that sting. He's heard them directed at colleagues, or even himself with his mixed heritage. It fuels his doubts about the media, how they amplify divisions for clicks. To make it more vivid, add a K-dramatic twist. As they pass a cluster of spectators, a man in the crowd yells something derogatory at a guard ahead, something about wasting taxpayer money. It echoes, causing a ripple. Eli hears it, clenches his jaw. Aegis reacts too, ears flattening briefly. Security moves in quietly, escorting the guy away without disrupting the flow. It's a small escalation, heightening the unease, showing how quickly respect can turn to contempt. Eli reflects on his mom's situation, doctors sometimes treating her like a burden on the system, belittling her pain. It's all tying into that pressure cooker of life in London. Wrapping this setup, the parade hits its stride at Horse Guards. The crowd's packed tighter, anticipation building. Aegis and Eli are in position, the distorted sound fading but leaving its mark. That open loop hangs. What's with that reaction? Part 6 has the answers. For now, you've got curiosity turning to respect for the discipline involved, mixed with this growing sense of unease about what's coming. The traditions stand tall, but the cracks are showing, life's pressures, societal tensions, all simmering under the surface. Okay, things are about to heat up. That subtle unease, from the parade's start. It's turning into something real now. We're still right there in the thick of the trooping the color ceremony at Horse Guards Parade, with the crowd buzzing and the military precision on full display. But out of nowhere, this black van rolls up to the edge of the secured area, just off the mall where the barriers keep the spectators back. It's not your standard vehicle, it's got these magnetic decals, slapped on the sides reading Civic Tactical Response, but they're off-kilter, like someone stuck them on in a rush while the van was moving. The edges are peeling a bit, and the font looks cheap, not like official markings you'd see on real emergency rigs. 4 guys spill out, all decked in what passes for tactical gear, but it's the budget stuff, thin vests that don't fit right, pants with visible tags still on, and boots that squeak like they came from a discount warehouse. They're not blending in, they stand out like sore thumbs amid the polished uniforms and waving flags. One of them, the apparent leader, a stocky guy with a buzz cut and a fake badge pinned crookedly, pulls out his phone and starts live streaming immediately. He's yelling into the camera, "These guards aren't complying with emergency protocols. We're here to clear a path, and this horse is blocking access." His buddies fan out, holding up their own phones, capturing angles that deliberately frame Aegis and Eli as obstacles. They're positioning themselves to make it look like the horse is in the way of some imaginary urgent route, zooming in tight to crop out the actual parade layout. Hashtags start popping up on their stream, hashtag fake authority exposed, hashtag parade obstruction, hashtag London chaos, pumping the trend online like they're trying to go viral. It's calculated, the way they're scripting it. One guy pretends to radio in, but the device looks like a toy walkie-talkie, crackling with static that doesn't match any real dispatch chatter. The crowd nearby starts murmuring, some pulling out their phones to record the recording, confusion spreading like ripples in a pond. Aegis picks up on it first, his senses sharper than anyone's. That's distorted frequency from earlier. It's back, and now it's clear where it's coming from, the leader's phone. The horse's left ear tilts sharply toward it, a telltale sign from his training that pinpoints the source. He stamps his hooves twice in quick succession, not a panic move, but a deliberate rhythm, like a warning signal drilled into him for non-standard threats. It's not some official radio frequency, it's mobile interference, warped and unofficial, cutting through the parade's ambient noise. Eli feels the shift through the reins, Aegis's muscles tensing just enough to alert him without breaking formation. He stays cool, adhering to protocol down to the letter, no sudden moves that could spook the crowd or escalate things. Instead, he prioritizes safety, subtly marking the incident on his bodycam with a quick timestamp and note, "Suspected interference, non-compliant group approaching." He adjusts his position ever so slightly, pivoting Aegis a few degrees to ensure the whole scene falls into the view of the nearest CCTV camera, the ones mounted high on poles overlooking the parade ground. To make this even more uncomfortable, picture the diversity in that crowd amplifying the doubt. There's a family from the Middle East, the parents holding their kids close, whispering in Arabic about how this doesn't feel right. These tactical guys are eyeing them suspiciously, like they're part of some made-up threat. One of the imposters brushes past an older black man in the front row, shoulder-checking him lightly but deliberately, muttering something under his breath about staying out of the way. It's belittling, that casual dismissal, treating him like he's in the wrong for just being there enjoying the event. The man straightens up, doesn't react outwardly, but you can see the frustration in his eyes, the way he grips his flag tighter. Eli catches it from atop Aegis, his own mixed heritage making him attuned to these microaggressions. He's faced them before, landlords leering at his background when he applies for housing, or colleagues making offhand comments that belittle his struggles. It fuels his resolve to handle this by the book, not letting it devolve into chaos that could hurt innocents. The imposters keep pushing, their live stream gaining traction. Comments overlay in real time on their feed, "What's going on?" pops up first, then escalates to "This looks fake," building to call the real cops. It's like the online doubt is mirroring the on-ground tension. The leader gets bolder, stepping closer to the barriers, waving his fake radio, and demanding Eli move Aegis. "You're obstructing an emergency response," he shouts, his voice cracking with forced authority. One of his crew tries to slip a hand through the rope line, reaching toward Aegis's flank, not a full grab, but a sneaky prod, like testing boundaries with a physical nudge. It's a dirty move, hidden from most angles but caught on Eli's bodycam. Aegis reacts with another hoof stamp, his ear still locked on the phone's signal, confirming it's no legit device. The crowd's discomfort ramps up. A young woman nearby, maybe South Asian, pulls her child back, whispering, "This isn't normal." Kids are in the mix, wide-eyed but safe behind the barriers. No one's touching them, but the tension makes parents shield them instinctively. Eli doesn't budge, but he radios in quietly, unidentified group claiming authority, possible interference. His voice is steady, trained for this. Meanwhile, the imposters amp up the drama for their stream, one guy fake tripping near the barrier as if Aegis caused it, yelling about aggression from the guard. It's all staged, but it sows seeds of frustration, spectators starting to argue among themselves, some defending the parade, others questioning if these guys are real. To add kilter, imagine a brief scuffle in the crowd, one imposter elbows a tourist accidentally on purpose, a white guy in a baseball cap who pushes back verbally, "Who do you think you are?" It doesn't go physical beyond that shove, but it heightens the unease, belittling the tourist like his space doesn't matter. Eli notes it all, shifting Aegis again to block any potential breach without engaging directly. Quick poll to keep you engaged: what's the biggest giveaway these guys are fakes? The crooked decals on the van, that phony radio static, or their cheap, ill-fitting outfits? Think about it, drop your guess if you're following along. As the scene unfolds, those overlay comments keep escalating, sketchy vibes, "They're not buying this, up to total scam." It's building that frustration, making you root against these posers who think they can hijack a national event with their fake power play. The black van's engine is still running, exhaust puffing out, adding to the chaotic air. The leader's phone keeps emitting that distorted beep, now louder, like he's cranking the volume for effect. Aegis's breathing quickens slightly, but Eli calms him with a subtle rein adjustment, keeping everything under wraps. In the crowd, frustration boils over subtly. A group of locals, mixed ethnicities, start muttering louder, one woman calling out, "You're not real authorities." It gets a few nods, but the imposters ignore it, focusing on their stream. One tries another sneaky move, tossing a small object toward Aegis's hooves, like a wrapper or something innocuous, but it's meant to provoke a reaction, a behind-the-back play to make the horse look unruly. Aegis sidesteps it neatly, his training shining through, turning what could be a stumble into a controlled step. Eli's mind races, his mom's bills, the rent hikes that belittle families like his, now this, fake authority figures belittling the real ones. It's like a microcosm of London's underbelly, where people from all backgrounds face dismissal daily. A vendor nearby gets shoved by one imposter, spilling some flags. He picks them up without a word, but his face shows the quiet rage. No fists fly yet, but the air's thick with it. The livestream hits a peak, hashtags trending, but doubt creeps in online too, decals look fake AF. As this inciting mess builds, the open loop from before lingers, why Aegis hates that sound. We'll unpack it in part 6. For now, that uncomfortable shift to doubt and frustration is real, grounded in these everyday pressures and the audacity of fakes trying to steal the spotlight. The pressure's really starting to build now. We're deep into the trooping the color ceremony at Horse Guards Parade, with the drums still pounding and the crowd packed in tight along the barriers. That black van with the fake decals is still parked awkwardly at the edge, its engine idling like it's ready to bolt at any second. The 4 imposters are getting bolder, their livestream rolling as they weave closer to the parade line, dodging the occasional glance from security. The leader, the one with the buzz cut and phony badge, spots an opening and signals to one of his crew, this skinny guy who's playing the role of the victim. He's got a bag slung over his shoulder, and if you look close, there's a sharp metal edge poking out from under the flap, glinting in the June sunlight. It's not accidental. It's like he's carrying it as a prop, something to escalate things without saying a word. The victim actor pushes forward, squeezing through a gap in the crowd and getting right up to Aegis's head. He's acting all flustered, waving his arms and yelling into his phone, "This horse is endangering public safety. We need to move it now." But it's the way he reaches out, his hand brushing too close to the bridle, fingers grazing near the bit in Aegis's mouth. That's a total violation, not just of personal space but of the whole ceremonial setup. His foot even crosses over the low rope barrier, stepping into the symbolic zone that's meant to be off-limits. It's like he's deliberately disrespecting the tradition, turning a national event into his personal stage. The crowd gasps a little, some folks shifting uncomfortably, but others are buying into the act, murmuring things like, "Maybe they have a point, look at how crowded it is." It amps up the tension, making that line between the orderly parade and this brewing chaos feel razor-thin. Aegis reacts instantly, his signals kicking in like clockwork from all those years of training. His left ear tilts sharply toward the bag, pinpointing the metal threat on the left side. Ear tilt means source left, just like in his drills. Then comes a short snort, a quick burst of air through his nostrils, signaling metal close and warning of potential danger. It's not panic, it's precise, a way for him to communicate without bolting. Eli picks up on it right away, feeling the horse's tension through the reins. He stays disciplined, not reacting with force, but he radios it in immediately. Unusual frequency interference detected, possible unauthorized contact. His voice is calm over the calms, but the response from coordination is delayed. There's light static crackling through, probably from the imposter's cheap gear jamming the signals. It's frustrating, that lag, like the system's being tested on purpose. In the crowd, things are getting more heated. There's this older veteran, a guy in his 70s with a row of medals pinned to his jacket, who's been watching the whole thing unfold. He's ex-military, knows the drill from his days in service, and he spots the fakeness immediately. The radio chatter from the imposters isn't standard, it's off-pitch, missing the crisp codes and protocols he'd recognize anywhere. He doesn't make a scene, but he steps forward quietly, positioning himself as a witness near the barrier, phone out to record, subtly. It's a smart move, grounding the situation with someone who's seen real authority in action. But the imposters aren't stopping. The victim guy leans in closer, his bag swinging dangerously near Aegis's flank, the metal edge almost brushing the horse's coat. It's a sneaky play, like he's trying to provoke a reaction without full contact, a behind-the-back jab to make Aegis look aggressive. To crank up the drama, imagine the diversity in that crowd adding layers to the unease. There's a mixed group nearby, a black family with a couple of kids, the parents holding them back as the imposters push through. One of the fake tactical guys bumps the dad intentionally, shoulder-checking him with a muttered, "Out of the way, we're handling this." It's belittling, that casual shove and dismissiveness, treating him like he's just an obstacle, not a person enjoying the event with his family. The dad doesn't swing back, he's got his kids there, after all, but you can see the anger flash in his eyes, the way he straightens up and mutters something under his breath. Eli catches it from horseback, his own frustrations bubbling up. He's dealt with similar crap in his life, like landlords hiking rents and sneering at his background, making him feel small in a city that's supposed to be for everyone. It fuels that rising rage, seeing these fakes overstep and belittle folks just trying to have a good day. The victim actor doesn't let up. He fakes a stumble, like Aegis's snort startled him, and grabs at the bridle for balance, another illegal touch, his fingers wrapping around the leather near the bit. It's a clear invasion, crossing that ceremonial rope and turning symbolism into a prop for their stream. The crowd's murmurs turn to shouts now, some defending the parade, "Get back, that's not right." But others, influenced by the live stream, start questioning, why won't the guard move? This could be serious. Aegis snorts again, shorter this time, his ear still tilted left, locking onto the metal in the bag. Eli radios once more, repeat, unauthorized contact, frequency anomaly persisting. The delay drags on, that static humming like a taunt, making the boundary between the ceremony's structure and this fake chaos feel like it's about to snap. Adding to the tension, one of the imposters spots the veteran recording and turns on him, getting in his face with a pointed finger. "Mind your business, old man, this is official. It's aggressive, a verbal jab with a step forward, like he's ready to escalate to something physical. The veteran stands his ground, not backing down, but it creates this ripple effect in the crowd. A young Latina woman nearby, who's been filming too, gets shoved aside by another imposter, her phone nearly knocked from her hand. "Stay out of it," he snaps, belittling her like her presence is an annoyance. She doesn't retaliate, but the anger spreads, parents shielding kids, folks from different backgrounds exchanging looks of shared frustration. No one touches the children, thank goodness, the barriers hold, but the air's thick with it, that sense of injustice building. Eli feels it all, his mind flashing to his mom's medical bills, how doctors sometimes dismiss her concerns, treating her like a number instead of a person. It's that same belittling vibe, amplified here in the middle of a national tradition. The imposters keep pushing boundaries. The leader joins in, yelling over the radio prop, "We're clearing this area, move the horse or we'll have to intervene." His buddy with the bag swings it again, the metal edge coming perilously close to Aegis's side, a sly attempt at contact without full commitment. Aegis stamps a hoof, a rhythmic warning tied to his training, his snort punctuating the air, metal close, source left. The crowd's on edge now, a mix of tourists and locals starting to argue among themselves. An American family, all in baseball caps, gets caught in the shuffle, one imposter elbows the mom lightly, muttering, tourists blocking the way, like their excitement is a problem. She brushes it off, but it stings, adding to the no dang, that rising anger at these fakes acting like they own the place. Eli holds steady, prioritizing the crowd's safety above all. He adjusts Aegis subtly, keeping the horse calm with a low command, but the radio delay is killing him. Coordination finally crackles back, "Copy that, stand by for support." It's too slow, letting the tension simmer. The veteran nods toward Eli, a silent acknowledgement, as if to say he's got his back. But the victim actor tries one more dirty trick, he fakes another reach, his foot fully over the rope now, hand darting toward the bridle again. It's a clear overstep, invading that symbolic space meant to honor tradition. Aegis's signals intensify, a sharper snort, ear locked left, building that rage in everyone watching. Why does Aegis hate that distorted beep so much? Hang tight, we'll unpack it in part 6. The scene's boiling over, emotions shifting from stress to outright anger at these boundary pushers. Parents pull kids closer, no harm coming to them, but the belittling shoves and comments hit hard. Eli's report goes through finally, but the delay has let the fakes ramp it up, turning unease into full-blown frustration. It's like the ceremony's edges are fraying, and everyone's feeling that fan no dang, ready for something to give. Here's the turnaround, the point where everything flips in just 47 seconds. We're right in the heart of the chaos at Horse Guards Parade, during the Trooping the Color ceremony, with the crowd's tension hitting a peak. The imposters have been pushing boundaries hard, that victim actor with his bag and its sharp metal edge getting way too close to Aegis, his hand grazing the bridle in a blatant violation. The air's thick with frustration, parents holding their kids tight behind the barriers, no one daring to let the little ones get near the mess. Eli's radioed in the interference, but the delay's dragging on, that light static making every second feel like an eternity. The leader of the fake crew, the buzzcut guy with the phony badge, sees his opening and pulls out what looks like a stun button from under his vest. It's not a toy, this thing's got a real crackle to it, humming with low voltage as he jabs it toward Aegis's side, close enough that you can almost feel the threat. If the horse bolts from a zap, it could send him rearing back, potentially scattering the crowd behind him where families with children are standing. Those kids are safe for now, barriers holding firm, but the risk is real, one wrong move, and panic could ripple out. Eli doesn't flinch or lose his cool, he's all about that ironclad discipline from his training. He follows protocol to the T, shouting a clear warning first, step back, unauthorized approach. His voice cuts through the noise, firm but not aggressive, alerting everyone without escalating to violence. Then, with a subtle shift, he tugs the reins left, guiding Aegis into a precise half-turn. It's not a wild spin, it's calculated, like geometry in motion, pushing the imposter into a pocket of empty space without laying a hand on him. Eli's using the horse's size and positioning to push-lock the space, creating a barrier that isolates the guy from the main flow of people. No punches thrown, no direct contact, just smart maneuvering that turns the parade grounds layout into a tool for control. Aegis responds perfectly, his training kicking in as he edges forward, hooves planting firmly to herd the leader into that gap between two mobile fences set up for crowd control. The clock's ticking now, let's break it down second by second, just like you'd see it on screen with a countdown overlay starting at 0:47. At the 10-second mark, Eli's angle shift blocks the imposter's path, cutting off his advance toward the denser part of the crowd. You can picture the top view graphic popping up here, a simple diagram showing the parade route from Buckingham Palace down the Mall to Horse Guards Parade, with arrows highlighting how Eli's pivot creates a wedge. By 20 seconds, that barrier pocket forms, Aegis's bulk acts like a living wall, funneling the guy into the open spot without touching him. The stun batton's still waving, but it's losing ground, the leader stumbling a bit as he tries to jab again. Overlay text flashes, barrier pocket keeping it straightforward, no fluff. At 30 seconds, the crowd shield locks in, Eli's positioned Aegis to block any spillover, protecting those families behind, kids peeking out wide-eyed but untouched, parents breathing a sigh of relief as the threat gets contained. To amp up the suspense, imagine the diversity in that crowd adding to the thrill. There's a group of Latino tourists nearby, a dad with his two young daughters clutching his hands, the imposter's wild baton swings come perilously close, but Eli's quick pivot shoves the space, making the guy trip over his own feet without hitting anyone. The dad nods gratefully toward Eli, no words needed, but you can see the respect in his eyes, especially after earlier belittling shoves from the fakes that made him feel dismissed, like his family's presence was an inconvenience. Eli catches it, his own struggles flashing through his mind, those rent hikes that belittle working folks like him, treating them like they're not worth stable housing. It's that undercurrent of everyday injustice fueling his focus, turning potential chaos into controlled reversal. By 40 seconds, Aegis is fully in play, his hooves stamping a rhythmic warning as Eli gives a low command under his breath, steady push. It's a trained cue, and the horse responds by leaning his weight just enough to edge the leader further into the fence gap. The stun baton snags on one of the mobile barriers, VRRRT, it catches and drops to the ground with a clatter, rolling harmlessly away. No zap fired, no harm done, but the guy's exposed now, his fake authority crumbling. Eli signals with his foot, a subtle press against Aegis's side, prompting another hoof stamp, boom boom, like a final alert that echoes over the parade noise. The crowd's starting to catch on, murmurs turning to cheers as they see the tide turning. Top view graphic flashes again, zooming in on the pocket, crowd shield complete. Right at the 47-second mark, the mic hidden on one of the imposters picks up a slip-up, cue the director. Loud enough for Eli's Bodycam to catch it, along with the leader's tone shifting desperately, "What unit are you with? Identify yourself." It's a total flip, the influencer vibe cracking as he tries to turn the tables, but it's too late. The excitement builds, you can feel that rush, the moment when the fakes get outmaneuvered without a single blow. Overlay wraps it, the clock hits 0, with tactical labels recapping angle block. Barrier pocket. Crowd shield. It's exhilarating, watching discipline win out over chaos, especially with the crowd's diversity shining through in the relief. An Asian family nearby, who got elbowed earlier by one of the crew in a belittling push like they were in the way, now claps softly, their kids safe and the threat neutralized. But let's add some extra drama to make this reversal pop. Suppose during those 47 seconds, one of the other imposters tries a sneaky side play, darting around to grab at the fallen baton, but Eli anticipates it, shifting Aegis just enough to block the path without engaging. The guy slips on the gravel, landing on his butt in the dirt, no injury but total embarrassment as the crowd laughs. It's karma in action, that behind-the-scenes dirty trick backfiring without Eli lifting a finger. No kids involved in the tumble, the barriers keep everything contained, families watching from a safe distance. Eli's mind races, his mom's treatments, the way bureaucrats sometimes belittle patients like her, dismissing their needs. It's like this moment channels that frustration into precision, proving restraint beats brute force. The energy shifts hard now, from heart-pounding suspense to pure thrill. The leader's scrambling, his live stream still going but comments flooding in with doubt, that was a slip-up. And fake as hell. Aegis stands tall, breathing steady, his earlier signals, ear tilt, hoof stamps, paying off in this controlled takedown. Eli doesn't gloat, he just holds position, radioing in, situation contained, suspect isolated. The response comes quick this time, no more static, supports en route. That top view graphic pops one last time, outlining the full reversal, making it crystal clear how geometry and training flipped the script. To heighten the hilarity of the ha factor, picture a quick cut to the veteran from earlier, the old guy with the medals, who's been recording the whole thing. As the baton drops, he gives a subtle thumbs up to Eli, a quiet nod of approval that says it all, no hero worship, just mutual respect among those who've seen real pressure. The imposter's crew starts whispering frantically, one trying to scoop up the baton but getting blocked again by Aegis's positioning. It's satisfying, that moment when their overconfidence crumbles, especially after all the belittling they've dished out, shoving folks from different backgrounds like they don't belong at their own national event. As the dust settles in those final ticks, the crowd's silence from the initial shock turns to relieved chatter, everyone buzzing about the close call. Eli pats Aegis's neck, a small gesture of thanks to his partner, while the horse snorts softly, tension easing. That open loop about the distorted sound. It's still hanging, but we'll crack it open in part 6. For now, this 47-second pivot has you pumped, feeling that rush of justice served through smarts, not fists. The fakes are cornered, their narrative cracking, and it's all thanks to disciplined moves that protected everyone without a scratch. Midway through, real power shows up and flips the script entirely. We're still smack in the middle of the Trooping the Color ceremony at Horse Guards Parade, the drums fading into the background as the crowd's excitement from that 47-second turnaround starts to settle. The imposters are cornered now, their leader scrambling to pick up the dropped stun baton from the gravel, his face flushed with panic. That black van with the crooked Civic Tactical Response decals is still idling nearby, but its engine coughs like it's about to stall under the weight of what's coming. Eli holds Aegis steady, the horse is breathing even now, his earlier signals, like that ear tilt and hoof stamps, having done their job in containing the threat without a scratch. The barriers are holding firm, keeping families and kids at a safe distance, no one even close to getting hurt in the scuffle. But the air's electric, that mix of relief and anticipation hanging thick as actual police officers finally arrive on the scene. It starts with the sound of boots hitting the ground, real cops, not these budget gear posers. A squad of Metropolitan Police officers moves in swiftly, their uniforms crisp and official, badges gleaming under the June sun. They're not rushing in blind, they've been monitoring from afar, coordinating with the ceremony's security team after Eli's radio calls cut through the static. The lead officer, a no-nonsense woman with a radio clipped to her vest, spots the fake decals on the van right away, no registration plates matching any legit emergency vehicle, and those magnetic stickers peeling like cheap wallpaper. She signals her team, and they fan out, surrounding the imposters without a word. One officer grabs the leader's phony radio, inspecting it on the spot. It's unregistered, emitting that same distorted frequency that's been jamming signals all along. "This isn't standard issue," she says flatly, holding it up like evidence in a courtroom. "You're looking at charges for causing interference, on top of everything else." The ceremony commander isn't far behind, pulling up on a discreet vehicle and immediately accessing the CCTV feeds from his tablet. It's seamless, the footage matches Eli's bodycam perfectly, frame by frame. There it is, the illegal bridal touch, the sneaky bag swing with its metal edge, the stun baton jab, all captured from multiple angles. The commander's face hardens as he cross-references it, confirming what everyone suspects. These guys aren't real authorities, they're frauds, and the proof is irrefutable. On screen, if this were a video, you'd see lower thirds flashing quick facts: impersonation, Police Act 1996 S90, max 6 months. It's not overwhelming, just enough to drive home the legality without bogging down the story. Another one pops: Route, Buckingham Palace. The Mall Horse Guards parade, reminding everyone of the historic path that's been disrupted. To build the drama, picture the crowd's diversity playing into this relief. There's a black teenager nearby, maybe 16, who's been watching the whole thing with his little sister clutching his hand behind the barrier. No way anyone's getting near her, the ropes keeping everything contained. Earlier, one of the imposters had shoved him aside with a belittling sneer, muttering something about kids like you causing trouble, like his mere presence was a problem. It was a dirty, behind-the-back push, not full force but enough to sting, amplifying the everyday racism that simmers in a city like London. Now, as the real cops cuff the leader, the teen straightens up, a small smile breaking through. He nods at Eli, that shared look of justice served without needing words. Eli feels it too, his own experiences with belittling landlords dismissing his rent concerns because of his background, treating him like he doesn't belong. It's like this moment washes some of that away, restoring a bit of faith in the system. The imposters try to spin it, of course. The leader, now in zip ties, switches from aggressor to victim mode, demanding credentials from the real officers. "What unit are you with? Show me your badges, prove you're legit," he yells, his voice cracking as his livestream keeps rolling. It's ironic, almost laughable, this influencer type flipping the script after getting caught red-handed. His buddies join in, one trying a sneaky elbow jab at an officer during the cuffing, a last-ditch physical play, but the cop dodges it effortlessly, twisting the guy's arm behind his back without breaking a sweat. No harm done, just karma hitting back as the imposter trips over his own ill-fitting boots, landing face first in the dirt. The crowd erupts in murmurs, then louder chatter, realizing it's all been a setup. Phones that were filming the obstruction now capture the arrests, social media turning on a dime, from hyped-up outrage to calling out the fraud. Comments overlay in real time, total fake-out. And justice served. It's a wave of relief crashing over everyone, trust rebuilding as the fakes get hauled away. Adding to the tension, suppose one of the imposters makes a desperate grab for a bystander's phone during the arrest, a quick, behind-the-scenes snatch to stop the recording. But the bystander, an older Asian woman who's been quietly filming from the crowd, yanks it back just in time. Earlier, she'd been belittled by the same guy, shoved aside with a dismissive move, "Lady, this doesn't concern you," like her right to be there was lesser. Now, as he lunges, she steps aside smoothly, and he overreaches, stumbling into another officer's path. The cop grabs him without effort, and the woman holds up her phone triumphantly, capturing the whole flop. No punches thrown, no one hurt, especially not the kids watching wide-eyed from safe spots, but it's that satisfying flip, where the belittling bully gets his comeuppance through his own clumsiness. Eli watches it unfold, his mind flashing to his mom's medical treatments, how some officials belittle patients from diverse backgrounds, delaying care like it's not urgent. This reversal feels like a small win against all that. The mood shifts hard now, from the earlier chaos to this grounded sense of justice. Parents relax their grips on their children, who are all safe and untouched behind the barriers, some even cheering as the van doors slam shut on the imposters. The ceremony resumes, bands picking up their rhythm, but there's a new undercurrent, people from all walks, tourists and locals alike, exchanging nods of solidarity. A group of Middle Eastern families, who'd been elbowed earlier in a belittling push like they were crowding the real spectators, now chat animatedly, their frustration melting into relief. One dad high-fives his son, whispering something about standing up to fakes. It's restorative, that moral rebound, proving the system works when real authority steps in. Eli radios a final update, suspects in custody, area secure. The commander gives him a curt nod, pulling the CCTV match for the report. Charges are stacking up, impersonation under Police Act 1996 S90, which could mean up to 6 months in jail or fines, depending on the details. No one's guessing here, it's straight from the law, emphasizing how seriously this gets taken. The influencer's stream crashes as his phone gets confiscated, the narrative flipping from heroic exposure to exposed fraud. Crowd whispers turn to open talk, knew they were off, and good on the guard for holding steady. Trust rebuilds, morals restored, it's a breath of fresh air after the mess. To heighten the drama one more notch, imagine a brief standoff as the last imposter resists, trying a verbal jab at the officers, "You can't do this, we're exposing the system." But the lead cop shuts it down with facts, listing the unregistered radio and fake decals point by point. He lunges subtly, a foot sweep attempt that's more desperate than dangerous, but the officer sidesteps, letting the guy's momentum carry him into a harmless tumble against the fence. Again, no harm, just self-inflicted embarrassment that draws laughs from the crowd. It's that poetic justice, especially for those belittled earlier, like a white local who'd been dismissed as just a spectator in a shove, now watching with quiet satisfaction. As the real police wrap it up, hauling the crew into vans, the parade route clears. Buckingham Palace to the Malta Horse Guards Parade, it's back on track, the historic path unbroken. Eli pats Aegis again, the horse snorting contentedly, that distorted sound finally silenced. The open loop lingers, why that reaction? Part 6 will break it down. For now, relief floods in, trust renewed, and that sense of moral order snaps back into place. Now we unmask the whole thing, peeling back the layers to see what really went down. We're picking up right after the real cops hauled those imposters away at Horse Guards Parade, during the Trooping the Color ceremony. The crowd's starting to disperse, bands marching on like nothing happened, but Eli's not done yet. He's still on Aegis, the horse calm now, no more ear tilts or hoof stamps, signaling trouble. That distorted frequency sound, the one that had Aegis reacting all weird from the start, it's gone, silenced with the confiscation of those phony radios and phones. But questions linger, why did Aegis hate that beep so much? It's time to flash back and connect the dots, showing how this wasn't just some random stunt but a calculated plot that got busted wide open. Let's rewind 2 years to a drill in Westminster, not far from the parade route we know, Buckingham Palace to the Malta Horse Guards Parade. Aegis was leading a formation back then, a routine exercise with the Household Cavalry. Everything was standard until a glitch hit, some faulty equipment nearby emitted this warped, low-frequency tone, a distorted signal that messed with the calms. It wasn't loud to human ears, but for Aegis, it was like nails on a chalkboard. His training kicked in hard, ears flattening, hooves stamping in protest, body tensing like he was ready to bolt. Turns out, it created a reflex memory in him, a conditioned response where that specific frequency pattern triggers alertness. Nothing supernatural, just biology and repetition from drills. Horses like him are wired to pick up on subtle cues, Their ears can detect frequencies we miss, and repeated exposure builds these reactions. Eli wasn't riding him back then, but he heard the stories, how techs analyzed it later, noting how the distortion modulated sensitivity, almost like amplitude changes messing with their hearing. It stuck with Aegis, turning that sound into an instant red flag. Fast forward to today, and that same distorted beep shows up again, emitted from the imposter's gear during the ceremony. Aegis's signals were spot on, the left ear tilt pinpointing the source from the leader's phone, those double hoof stamps warning of the anomaly, even his breathing shifting to alert Eli. It's all captured in the bit tag data, tiny sensors in the bridle and hooves that record rhythm, angle, and response times. Eli doesn't waste a second. Right after the arrests, he pulls the logs from his Bodycam and sends them straight to the tech team at the cavalry's base. Check this against the Westminster incident, he messages, attaching the files. The team dives in, cross-referencing the waveform. It's a match, a warped audio pattern that spikes at low frequencies, causing that reflexive tension in trained animals. No wonder Aegis hated it. It was like reliving a bad memory, his body reacting before his brain even processed it fully. But this unmasking goes deeper. It's not just about the horse. The techs trace the frequency emissions, scanning signals around London. They pick up hotspots in Camden, that eclectic neighborhood north of the center, known for its markets and creative hubs but also shady spots. The distorted tones lead to a cluster of bot nodes, automated devices pumping out interference, tied to hashtags like #FakeAuthority exposed that the imposters were using. It's clever, but sloppy. The signals bounce from a co-working space in Camden, a nondescript building full of freelancers and startups. Police move in quick, raiding the place based on the data. There, they nab Kieran Vale, the mastermind behind it all. He's no big-time criminal, just a wannabe influencer with a grudge against the establishment, holed up with jamming gear, scripts for viral stunts, and a laptop full of edited videos. They seize everything, the devices emitting those distorted frequencies, designed to disrupt calms and provoke reactions like Aegis's. Vale's setup was meant to create chaos at events like Trooping the Color, framing authorities as incompetent while his crew live-streamed the exposure. But the traces, waveforms, heat maps, and location pings, nailed him. To make this intellectual payoff hit harder, let's tease those three data layers like puzzle pieces snapping together. First, the warped waveform. Visuals would show it on screen if this were a video, a squiggly line distorting at key frequencies, matching the Westminster sample and the imposter's phones. It's acoustic proof, showing how the signal modulated to cause interference, much like studies on how low tones can suppress higher ones in sensitive systems. Second, the frequency heat map, a color-coded map lighting up hotspots around Camden, red zones where the bots were active, linking back to Vale's co-working spot. It paints a picture of a network, not just one-off jamming, spreading from there to events like the parade. Third, the arrest location pinned right in Camden, cops bursting in, Vale caught mid-edit on his computer, scripts detailing how to cue the director for maximum drama. It's satisfying, that gotcha moment, bearing the conspiracy with cold, hard evidence. Now, to amp up the drama and keep it vivid, imagine the diversity in that Camden raid adding real tension. The co-working space is a melting pot, folks from all backgrounds hustling on laptops, a young black graphic designer in the corner, an Asian coder typing away, even a Middle Eastern entrepreneur pitching ideas. As police swarm in, Vale tries a desperate play, shoving past the designer in a belittling push, "Out of my way, this doesn't concern you." Like the guy's just an obstacle, dismissing his presence with a shoulder check that sends papers flying. But karma hits quick. Vale trips over a loose cable in his haste, stumbling into a desk and knocking over his own jamming device, which sparks and shorts out harmlessly. No one gets hurt, especially not the kids. There's a family-friendly lounge nearby with a couple of children playing safely in a cordoned area, untouched by the chaos. The designer doesn't swing back, he just steps aside, letting Vale's momentum do the work, a subtle reversal where the belittler's aggression backfires on himself. Eli gets the update later that day, back at the stables after Aegis's post-duty check. He's feeding the horse an apple, reflecting on his own pressures, those sky-high London rents that belittle families like his, making them feel like second-class citizens, or the media spins that dismiss real struggles. But cracking this case, it restores some faith, showing how data and discipline can expose fakes without fists. The crowd from the parade, that diverse mix of tourists and locals who'd been shoved and dismissed earlier, would feel it too if they knew, justice through smarts, not violence. To heighten the stakes, suppose during the raid, one of Vale's accomplices lurking in the space tries a sneaky behind-the-back move, reaching for a hidden phone to delete evidence while cops are distracted. He elbows the Asian coder subtly, a belittling nudge like "stay quiet, this ain't your business," treating him like an outsider in his own workspace. But the coder anticipates, shifting just enough that the accomplice overreaches and knocks into a chair, alerting the officers without a fight. Again, no harm done, karma serving up the flop as the phone clatters to the floor, data intact. It's that poetic justice, flipping the script on those who belittle others from different backgrounds, echoing the everyday racism simmering in a city like London, dismissive comments at jobs, shoves in crowds, all tied to broader inequalities. As the pieces fall into place, social media shifts too. Those hashtags the imposters pushed. They backfire, trending now as exposers of the real fraud. Vale's arrested, charged with interference and impersonation, facing real time under laws like the Police Act. It's intellectual satisfaction, that aha of unmasking the plot, building trust in digital justice. For more on this, check out the short, Aegis ERQ explained in 30 to 45 seconds, link in the end screen, pulling you back to the full video. The open loop's close here, curiosity quenched with facts that make you nod in approval. But we're not done yet, part 7 ties it all up. Wrapping it up with the triple proof montage that seals the deal. We're coming down from the unmasking, with Kieran Vale in custody up in Camden, his jamming gear and scripts confiscated, the whole plot laid bare. The Trooping the Colour ceremony has wrapped at Horse Guards Parade, the crowds thinning out as folks head home, buzzing about the wild interruption. Eli's dismounted now, leading Aegis back toward the stables off the mall, the horse's steps, steady after all that chaos. But before we close this out, let's hit that 3-in-1 proof montage. Think of it like a quick 12 to 20 second recap if this were playing on screen, syncing up the evidence that killed their fake narrative dead. First up, the CCTV from a high angle overlooking the parade ground. It catches the victim actor's illegal touch on the bridle and bit, his hand wrapping around the leather in clear violation, foot over the ceremonial rope like he owns the place. The footage is crisp, time-stamped, showing the exact moment he invades that symbolic space, his bag with the metal edge swinging too close. No edits, no tricks, just raw proof of the overstep. Second, Eli's bodycam rolls in sync, it picks up the hidden mic slip from the imposters, cue the director right as their leader barks fake orders, his tone shifting to desperate demands for credentials. It's all there, the phony commands and the influencer vibe cracking under pressure, captured in real-time audio and video. Third, the signal logs tie it together. Aegis's ear tilt pattern matches the distorted frequency interference exactly, waveform spikes aligning with the horse's reactions, left ear for source direction, hoof stamps syncing to the modulation. It's irrefutable, these 3 layers meshing like gears in a machine, proving the whole thing was a setup from start to finish. With that montage locking it in, the consequences start rolling out fast. Charges hit under the Police Act 1996 Section 90 for impersonation, could mean up to 6 months in jail or standard fines, depending on the specifics like intent and disruption caused. It's not a slap on the wrist, courts take this seriously, especially at a national event like Trooping the Color. Media picks it up quick, shifting the narrative from emotional outrage, those hyped hashtags about obstruction, to respecting the disciplined procedures that exposed the fraud. Outlets run stories highlighting how evidence chains, from Bodycam to logs, turned the tide without anyone throwing a punch. Social feeds flip too, comments praising the restraint. Real pros handled it right, drowning out the initial doubt. It's satisfying, that pivot from chaos to accountability, showing how facts beat fakes every time. To make this resolution pop with some extra drama, let's dive into the aftermath playing out in real time. Back at the parade ground, as the last of the imposters get loaded into police vans, one of them, the skinny victim actor, tries a final sneaky play. He's cuffed but not fully secured yet, and he spots the older veteran from earlier, the one with the medals who'd been recording quietly. The actor lunges subtly, a behind-the-back elbow jab aimed at knocking the veteran's phone away, muttering under his breath, "Old-timer, this footage ain't yours, hand it over." It's belittling, that casual dismissal, treating the vet like some irrelevant bystander, dismissing his service and presence with a shove that's more arrogant than forceful. But karma's quick. The veteran, with years of experience, sidesteps smoothly, his balance rock solid from military days. The actor overreaches, his momentum carrying him forward, and he trips over his own loose bootlace, thud, face planting into the gravel without laying a finger on anyone. No blood, no real injury, just a mouthful of dirt and the cops hauling him up, his sneaky move backfiring spectacularly. The veteran doesn't gloat, he just pockets his phone, a quiet nod to Eli across the way, respect earned without words. Eli catches the whole thing as he leads Aegis away, his mind tying it back to his own life. That kind of belittling. He's felt it, landlords jacking up rents and sneering at his mixed heritage like he doesn't deserve a fair shake, or media narratives dismissing working folks' struggles as drama. But seeing the fake get his comeuppance through his own clumsiness. It's a small, grounding win, reminding him that restraint often lets the bullies hang themselves. The crowd's diversity shines here too, a group of South Asian families nearby, who'd been elbowed earlier by the imposters in a dismissive push like their space at the event was lesser, now watch with satisfied smiles. One mom high-fives her husband, whispering to their kid, safe behind the barriers, untouched as always. See. Fakes always trip themselves up. No harm comes to the children, they're giggling now, the tension replaced by relief as the vans pull away. Fast forward a bit, Eli's back at the base, completing his report in a quiet office overlooking the stables. He types it all out, the radio calls, the 47-second pivot, the frequency logs, attaching the synced proofs for the record. It's thorough, no shortcuts, emphasizing how protocol protected everyone. He gets a quick medical check, just routine after the stress, blood pressure fine, no issues, but he mentions the static delay in his notes, suggesting better noise filters for future routes along Buckingham Palace to the Mall to Horse Guards Parade. It's practical, aimed at preventing jams from cheap gear like veils. Meanwhile, Aegis is in the stables, getting his post-duty care, a good brush down, fresh hay, and a vet once-over to ensure no strain from the maneuvers. The horse munches contentedly, his reflex memory from that Westminster drill now a tool that helped bust the plot, not a weakness. To heighten the emotional rap, picture a subtle moment as Eli finishes up. That veteran from the crowd shows up at the base's edge, turns out he's got connections, cleared to stop by briefly. He doesn't make a fuss, just stands at a distance, giving a quiet salute to Eli and Aegis. No hero worship, no speeches, just a nod of acknowledgement, respecting the discipline that kept things from escalating. Eli returns it with a tip of his helmet, feeling that weight lift a little. His mom's on his mind too, he texts her quick, "Shift went okay, love you," knowing the bills are still there, but moments like this make the grind worthwhile. In the background, news clips play on a nearby screen, narrative fully shifted, discipline over drama, how evidence exposed the fakes. It's a dignified close, no fanfare, just quiet satisfaction. Adding one more layer of drama for vividness, suppose back in Camden during Vale's processing at the station, he tries another desperate stunt. Cuffed to a bench, he spots a diverse group of officers handling paperwork, a black sergeant filing reports, an Asian constable logging evidence. Vale mutters something belittling under his breath at the sergeant, "You lot always mess up the details," then lunges subtly, trying a foot sweep from his seat to trip the constable passing by, a sneaky, behind-the-scenes dirty trick to cause a distraction and maybe grab a loose phone. But the officers are sharp, the sergeant anticipates, stepping aside effortlessly, and Vale's swing throws him off balance. He topples sideways, banging his knee on the bench. Ow, self-inflicted bruise, nothing serious, but enough to draw laughs from the room as they secure him tighter. No one else gets touched, it's pure karma, his aggression boomeranging back. The Asian constable doesn't react with anger, just shakes his head, continuing his work, embodying that restraint Eli showed. It echoes the broader themes, belittling folks from different backgrounds, whether in crowds or stations, often leads to the belittler's downfall through their own flaws. As it all settles, remember, real strength is restraint at the right moment, and only acting when it protects the most people. It's a lesson in keeping cool under pressure, letting evidence and discipline do the talking. If this story flipped your view or got you thinking, hit that like button and subscribe for more. Check out part 2, How to Spot Deepfakes at Crowded Events. Dive into the playlist Ceremonial Truth versus Fake Authority. What detail shocked you the most? Drop it in the comments below.